Cade is, he's making a case for himself as one of the top 5 PGs in the league right now. Obviously, they're top team in the East, that's shown. This team is improving with each game. They're tough, they're full of grit, they're fearless. That's the biggest thing that stands out with this team, no matter who they face. They're just tough, man, and Cade's the head of the Snakes.
For the first time in over 2 decades, the Detroit Pistons are back.
Cade the other way. Leaving defenders on the floor. Guns on the run, it goes! Count that, baby, and a foul.
12 straight wins, top seed in the East, and a duo that's breaking every expectation the league had for them. Cade Cunningham is slicing up defenses with the patience of a 10-year vet, while Jalen Duren has become one of the most dominant interior forces in basketball. Put the two together, and the numbers look historic. The film backs it up, the analytics confirm it, and the team everyone wrote off is now the team nobody wants to face. The NBA has a Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren problem. The Detroit Pistons are on an absolute tear, sitting at the top of the East and playing basketball nobody thought was possible. 2 years ago, this entire scenario would have sounded like pure fantasy, because back in 2023, Detroit wasn't just bad, they were historically bad. From late October through December, they went nearly 3 months without winning a single game, losing 28 straight and becoming the punchline of every NBA conversation. Fans were frustrated and the rest of the league was in disbelief. Then came the 24-25 season, bringing one of the most shocking turnarounds in NBA history. The Pistons increased their win total by 30 games, a jump almost no team has ever made. And they did it with basically the same roster. Same young core, same leaders, just a little growth and a whole lot of belief. But every young team eventually hits the same crossroads. At some point, you have to make the leap from fun-hungry squad to legitimate playoff threat. That's what separates feel-good stories from actual contenders. And that's exactly what Detroit has done this season. 16 games in, the Pistons sit 14-2, their best start since opening 15-2 back in 05-06. They own the longest winning streak of the year and they're holding the top spot in the East while missing multiple key rotation players. Dig into the numbers and you start to realise this team looks nothing like any Detroit squad we've seen in ages. On paper, nothing screams dominant. They're 11th in scoring, 13th in field goal percentage, and 17th in threes. Those are good numbers, not great ones. But Detroit isn't winning through overwhelming talent, they're winning through control. They move the ball at a top 14 rate, clean the glass at a top 13 rate, and force opponents into some of the most uncomfortable possessions in the league. And defensively, this team exploded. Detroit now owns the second best defense rating in the NBA. Opponents shoot just 46% against them, top 8 in the league. They smother drives, rotate on time, and funnel everything straight into Jalen Duren, who's helped push them into the top 10 in blocks. They're also shutting down second chances, ranking 6th in defensive rebounding, ending possessions before they begin. Hidden inside those numbers is something even more telling.
Baseline ran out of real estate. His pass picked off by Johnson, swatted by Cade, what a block.
Teams are averaging just 24.8 assists against Detroit, the 5th lowest mark in the NBA. That means opponents aren't running their choice of offense, they're being forced into isolations, tough pull-ups, and late clock prayers. This is intentional. Even their weaknesses tell a story. A team that ranks 23rd in turnovers shouldn't be winning this much, yet here they are. A team that ranks 25th in opponent three-point percentage shouldn't look this locked in, but they do. Because the Pistons aren't trying to outshoot anyone, they're trying to outwork everyone. Every quarter, every possession. You get a team that doesn't look elite until the full picture comes together. An above-average offense, a legitimately elite defense, top-tier rebounding, smart shot selection, and a physical, controlled pace that grinds teams down across 48 minutes. This isn't a fluke anymore, this is for real. This is the first real Pistons contender in 20 years, and at the centre of it all is Cade Cunningham, who's quietly built a case as a top 5 player in the entire league. The crazy part is how unlikely this rise looked just a short time ago. Back in 2021, when Detroit drafted Cade first overall, the franchise believed they finally had the guy, a true cornerstone, But 2 seasons later, those hopes looked dead on arrival. The Pistons, led by a young Cunningham, lost 28 games straight, became a league-wide joke, and hit rock bottom in a way no team had in decades. In moments like that, most young stars start looking for the exit. Cade kept his head down. He didn't complain, didn't hint at a trade, didn't distance himself from the mess. Instead, he trusted his front office, trusted his teammates, and kept working. And slowly, it started to pay off. Last season, he dragged Detroit back to the playoffs for the first time since 2019, putting up 26.1 points, 6.1 rebounds, and 9.1 assists. Now, in his 5th year, he's doing something even more extraordinary. Right now, he's averaging 27.3 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 9.9 assists, playing the best basketball of his career. And if it wasn't clear how valuable he is, the last stretch of games erased any doubt. After dropping a 46-point triple-double in an overtime win over Washington, he missed 3 games with injury, but on his return, he immediately delivered 25 points and 10 assists, leading Detroit to its 11th straight win. With that performance, Cade became the first player in franchise history to record at least 25 points and 10 assists in 5 straight games. A former top pick who once oversaw the darkest stretch in a team's history is now powering the biggest turnaround the Pistons have seen in a generation. Cunningham is an unbelievable shot maker and playmaker rolled into one, with the ability to turn difficult possessions into routine highlights. One trip down the floor, he'll fire a quick cross into a spin and finish off the glass. Next, he steps into a long-distance 3 with complete balance. Then he'll thread a pass for an easy layup or a wide-open corner 3. His game blends creativity and control in a way very few players achieve. These qualities explain why he currently sits near the top of several major categories across the league. Cunningham leads all guards in assists per game and ranks 2nd among all players, trailing only Nikola Jokic. He's 3rd in fast break points per game behind Giannis and Maxey, and 3rd in drives per game behind SGA and Brunson with 17.1 a night. He also sits top 5 in passes made per game and generates 24.9 points per game from his assists, which ranks 3rd in the NBA. On top of that, he's among the top 5 players in distance run per game, reflecting the workload and responsibility he carries on every possession. In a league overflowing with elite athletes, Cunningham relies on IQ, size, poise, and shiftiness to apply constant pressure. Whether a defender guards him one-on-one, fights over a screen, or closes out late, the result is consistent. Cunningham gets downhill, delivers contact, maintains his line, and forces defenders to scramble. His footwork adds another layer, allowing him to reach his spots with precision and blend in pull-ups, step-backs, and counters without losing rhythm. With his elevated play and the way he's lifting the Pistons, Cunningham has built a strong case as one of the 5 best players in their NBA right now. Cunningham is also a well-rounded offensive player who brings a defensive effort that's rare for a star of his caliber. The biggest leap he's made this season is his growth into one of the most clutch players in the NBA. He currently leads the league in 4th quarter scoring, averaging 11.2 points and a league-high 123 total 4th quarter points. His performance against the Hawks followed the same pattern. He spent the first half facilitating, entering the 3rd quarter with 10 points and 8 assists. Then the 4th quarter arrived and Cunningham shifted gears. He scored 9 points in the final frame and knocked down 2 clutch shots in the last 90 seconds to secure Detroit's 120-112 win. The Pistons repeatedly leaned on him, and he delivered with the composure of a seasoned superstar. Opponents have made every effort to slow him down, throwing double teams at him in the 4th quarter and throughout entire games. None of it works once he finds his rhythm. Cunningham is redefining himself as a game-changing star capable of altering the direction of a franchise and establishing himself as a top 3 player at his position. Detroit hasn't had a presence like this since Isaiah Thomas controlled the league. Cade Cunningham fills that void, and he's positioned himself as the kind of cornerstone who's here to stay. Detroit's success and Cade Cunningham's influence are impossible to separate, but no elite pick-and-roll creator operates without the right partner. Jalen Duren has filled that role and more, delivering a true breakout season that's reshaped the dynamic of this team. It may be early to label Duren a dominant force, but he's providing Detroit with a level of interior control that few players in the league can match. When discussing the most imposing interior presences in the NBA, the shortlist usually features Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and Nikola Jokic. Duren's not in that tier yet, but his play this season is pushing him closer to that conversation. What defines dominant big men is the ability to catch the ball and dictate the possession regardless of the defense. Duren has delivered that impact consistently. He's averaging 20.6 points, 11.9 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.1 steals, and 1.1 blocks in just 29 minutes per game, while shooting 67.4% from the field. Last season, he posted 11.8 points and 10.3 rebounds. Now he's in nightly 30-point double-double territory. Duren's growth has reached the point where those stat lines no longer surprise anyone. He's producing at an all-star level and playing with a level of physicality and maturity that makes him look like a man among boys in the interior. Duren isn't just playing well for Detroit, he's imposing his will in the interior in ways opponents have to answer for. He's dominating the offensive glass, finishing through heavy contact, and using his 250-pound frame to overwhelm defenders at the rim. His production has exploded, with at least 30 points in 3 of his 8 November games, and at least 20 points in 6 of them. Even after an ankle injury sidelined him briefly, Duren returned without missing a beat. He dropped a game-high 31 points and 15 rebounds against the Pacers, followed by 24 points and 8 rebounds against the Hawks. His physical dominance at just 22 years old shows you the ceiling he's beginning to reach. Right now, Duren is controlling games as a roll man, sitting near the top of the league in points per possession. He averages 3 roll man possessions per game and converts them at 1.46 points per possession, which approaches elite territory. His improvement has come from refining what already worked, creating gravity on rolls, catching lobs, and converting offensive rebounds into easy points. This approach has led to averages of 20 points and 12 rebounds per game, while establishing himself as Detroit's clear second star. His offensive growth is impressive, but his defensive consistency has matched it. For the first time in his career, Detroit is defending better with Duren on the floor. Opponents are shooting just 58% at the rim against him, placing him alongside some of the league's best interior defenders. He's averaging more than 1 block and 1 steal per game, and displaying far more energy, awareness, and commitment on the defensive end. Beyond the stats, Duren has established himself as a matchup nightmare for opposing centers. He's already been physically imposing, and this season he's fully leaned into it, becoming the ideal version of himself, a player who dominates the rim on both ends of the floor. Duren isn't just tall and muscular, he's willing to throw his weight around in the paint while using his skill to generate efficient scoring opportunities. Past criticism of being too passive seems to have fueled him. Now he puts his shoulder into defenders, boxes out with precision, and trusts his instincts whenever the ball comes his way. When you combine all these improvements, it's clear that Duren is on track for his first All-Star appearance, with the potential to make All-NBA and eventually earn a max contract. As long as he continues to realize how much he can control the game down low, the Pistons' rise to contender status will be powered by a rare and commanding presence, one capable of redefining what dominance looks like in Detroit. The Cunningham-Duren pick and roll is the engine of Detroit's offense and a nightmare for opposing defenses. Duren has become the perfect Robin to Cunningham's Batman. Cade's IQ and Duren's athleticism combine to create a two-man game that's both efficient and electrifying. Detroit dunks more than any team in the NBA. So far this season, Duren is averaging 20.6 points, and only 4 players, Giannis, Jokic, Zion, and DeAndre Ayton, are scoring more in the paint per game. As a pick-and-roll screener, only Domantas Sabonis has more points per game than Duren. His size, strength, and leaping ability have always made him an elite finisher, but he's improving at finding open space, sealing defenders, and creating passing angles for Cunningham. This allows Duren to turn Cunningham's lob passes into alley-oop slams with remarkable efficiency. The duo has already combined for more than 25 assisted dunks this season, the most of any player combination in the NBA. That's over 2 dunks per game from just 12 games together. Duren's growth has also benefited Cunningham, who's now averaging 11.7 points per game as the ball handler in pick and rolls, the highest mark of his career. Beyond their scoring, their chemistry opens up shots for teammates who are shooting 38% from 3 when Cunningham and Duren share the court. The scariest part for the rest of the league is that this offense still has room to grow. The Pistons' ceiling is defined by the increasingly devastating Cunningham-Duren pick and roll, and right now, they're nearly unstoppable. This duo is only going to get scary in the postseason. Their entire style is built for playoff basketball. When the pace slows down, every possession feels like a final exam, and mistakes get punished. Cade Cunningham controls the game like it's his personal chessboard. The pace drops, the floor tightens, and he doesn't speed up. He makes everyone else slow down, patient, methodical, reading coverages like he's already seen the script. Cade thrives in late clock, high-pressure moments. His pick-and-roll partner, Jalen Duren, is the perfect complement. He screens hard, rolls harder, finishes everything, and forces defenses to respect him. A Duren possession almost always ends in points or a high-value shot. Their game is simple but deadly. The Pistons' defense gives them an even higher floor. This isn't an elite, suffocating unit, but it's physical, active, and committed to making every possession a grind. On-ball pressure, off-ball denial, constant contests. They don't let anyone get comfortable. Teams hunting off-ball actions face switches, bodies flying, and relentless disruption. The supporting cast matters too. Osar's athleticism and defensive presence, Duncan Robinson stretching the floor, and vets like Karis LeVert and Tobias Harris who can steady the offense all fit perfectly. It's been a long time since Detroit had this kind of roster chemistry, but here we are. The Pistons are the hottest team in the league, their best start in 20 years. Detroit basketball was in hell. Now it's back. The NBA has a Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren problem. And the scariest part? They're only getting started. If you're sleeping on Detroit, don't say we didn't warn you. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Can anyone stop the Pistons? And if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these ones on your screen now.